How would you strengthen the relationships of the three communities of Dilworth, Glendon, and Felton to have one strong district?
Mr. Blado, you can begin with this question.
You sure you don't want to start with somebody else? Just kidding. That's a great question. I didn't grow up in DGF. I graduated from Fargo South in 1994 and we moved here in 2002. So there's a lot of history and stuff there that I've had to be filled in by people who have lived here their whole life. You know, the thing about DGF is, you know, number one, talk to the kids. The kids don't care. Are you from Dilworth, Glendon, or Felton? They don't care. The kids don't care. And that's where it needs to be. You know, I'm not here to represent Dilworth or Glendon or Felton. I'm here to represent Dilworth, Glendon, and Felton. Rural, urban, everybody. And when we look at things, we can't look at one community. We have to look at it as one community. And as far as ideas how to bring people together, I think we just have to continue to work at it. I know it certainly helps when, you know, our football team's winning games like that. That sure doesn't hurt. You know, successes make it there, but I think we need to look back at our students. Our students don't care. DGF is DGF, and that's where we need to be.
I agree with Jeremy. It's not the kids. Even back 20-some years ago when they combined, the children seemed to get along. It's the parents. I grew up in Glendon. When we were younger, we wanted to beat Dilworth. And I moved to Dilworth, and by golly, I wanted to see them Dilworth boys and Dilworth girls beat Glendon Felton. I mean, it was, that's the way it was. And unfortunately, not everybody's that way. It's the parents. And I don't know how we can educate and get us, the adults, away from the Glendon, Dilworth rivalry of 100 years, or whatever it is. And then somehow, some way, that needs to get past that and work all together as one. Because I agree with Jeremy, I don't think the kids care. I mean, this is their school, and they don't really care which community they're from. And it's just the DGF. And, I don't have an answer for that, because it's been going on for 20-some years, and it should be tighter than we are. And it would be nice if we were tighter and worked together for the betterment of the children, and not probably petty jealousies of our youth, probably. Thanks.
I'm in agreement with this gentleman as well. Some ways that we have started to take baby steps, and I guess I will have to call them baby steps, is a few years back that we came down to one handbook in the elementaries. Instead of DGF, instead of Dilworth Elementary having a handbook and Glendon Felton having a handbook, it was one unified handbook stating that we are DGF. We are not Glendon Felton, we are not Dilworth, we are one school district. So that was a baby step. Another baby step that we took was having the 5th graders come over here. They came over here and they became DGF, and they became friends with people over here in Glendon right away. They became part of DGF, and so when they went over to the junior high, it didn't matter where they were from. Our teachers are collaborating, not just from sites in their own grade levels, but as a district they are collaborating. And so I see those areas that are just improving all the time. You know, the growth that we have that will be coming, they're not going to have the baggage that some of us have. I mean, years ago when I helped do an all-school reunion, the money that we had left over purchased those benches in the front of the Dilworth School because people didn't want any of the money going to the Glendon School because that was the Buffaloes. And so, you know, there is that, you know, thing that Bill was saying, you know, us old-timers, it's hard to let go of some of that, but the new people that will be moving into our district, it isn't Dilworth versus Glendon Felton, it is DGF.
I guess I've had a little bit different perspective on this over the past year. I kind of feel as though our communities have been united. And to continue this, we need to just continue to have open communication and continue to include all three communities. ways we can implement that. I feel that we should do that. We also need to be respectful of each other's opinions. And we are not always going to agree. But if we can show respect, our kids are going to see that respect, and they will learn from that example. My kids are in 3rd grade, and they absolutely love DGF, and they have Rebel Pride. And so us parents can also learn from our kids to set aside their differences and to enjoy each other and just embrace DGF.
I'm a Dilworth girl who married a Glendon Felton Buffalo, and if we went to consolidated schools back in 1992, I probably would have never met him. So my life truly began when I became a DGF Rebel. Our kids, we have awesome kids in this community. They're so awesome. They don't care if you're from Glendon, Dilworth, Felton. They all want to just be friends and hang out and have a good time, whether it's on the sports field or in the classrooms. I think the biggest thing that we can be is good neighbors to each other and listen to each other's concerns. The urban area has concerns, the rural area has concerns. How can we come together to be DGF rebels? We are all rebels. It's not just our children. It is us, and we have a great tradition of excellence in this community. And we need to come together to find solutions that we all can live with. And respect each other's opinions. You're not a bad person because you disagree with someone. It makes you a stronger person to stand there and listen to them and understand where they're coming from.
Well, as a relative outsider, I guess I grew up here, not more of us, but I've lived here for, again, 13 years now, so I've observed kind of how things have gone, and I've seen primarily lots of very positive things in the way these communities work together. Community education and sporting and education, all those areas. I think it's been a good experience overall. That's why I'm still here. I can point again to the task force. I think that's a good example of taking the right step and going in the right direction and opening communication and making sure there's representation from different parts of the community, different age groups, different backgrounds, different vocations. It's those are the types of things we need to continue to prop up and to support to make sure that we do all keep talking, because I got to have the right communication to be successful, and as right now to set the right example for the kids as well.
Yes, I didn't grow up in DGF, so when we first started sending our children to our school district, I didn't even really recognize there was a huge, I don't want to say division or a huge issue in between the communities. I grew up in a school that did collaborate with another school very close by, and as a kid I thought it was great because we could do more things, we could offer more sports, we could meet new friends. So I'd agree with Jeremy. It doesn't matter to our kids. Also to what Sandy said as well, when we align policy within all of our buildings, that we're all on the same page, all using the same handbooks, that's important, and I think that's another huge step to kind of taking down some of these walls, respecting each other, listening to each other, having that great communication. That's so important, and I like what the task force too. Maybe that's something that we need to look at, not just when we do a building plan. Maybe we need to look at a task force for other issues as well, on how to develop communication and our issues within our district.
I agree with the majority here that our students really don't care. And go back to the CNC back in 95, 94, 95, the students were our biggest asset in going around with an adult member to visit with the various people in the district. They did a tremendous job. How can we improve? We need to keep the line of communication open between all three communities.